Good day, viewers. This is Fine TV Gambia, your only viewpoint. Today, we are right here at the University of Education, the Gambia, to witness the policy debate between various candidates. And I will be your moderator for this session. But before we start this session, I would like to give the rules that will guide this session. We'll give 2 minutes for introduction, 10 minutes for policies, and then 5 minutes for rebuttals. And then please let us not use abusive words against one another. We can start this session now. If the house is set now, I will start from my right hand side. Can you please introduce yourself?
Good day, viewers. My name is Fatou Sarr, a student of the University of Education, the Gambia, final year student pursuing English language and SAS, vying for the position of Gender and Health Minister on the demand of the webs.
Well, I will give chance to the other one also to introduce herself.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, for giving me the opportunity to express myself. My name is Yasin Balde, pursuing Advanced Diploma Secondary, majoring in Science and Essays, and I am vying for the position of Gender and Health Minister for the upcoming election. It's an honor to be part of this policy debate today, and in my capabilities as the upcoming Gender and Health Minister, there are a few things that are very sensitive. But before going further, I would like to discuss about my political party, that is Team Coalition. Team Coalition is known for democratic system, and Team Coalition provide competent candidates, vibrant and hardworking leaders. Without wasting much time, I will stop here. Thank you.
Well, that was an amazing introduction from both parties. Now, going back to you, what are your roles and responsibilities as a candidate?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, for asking me this wonderful question. My roles as a gender minister, I quote from the Constitution in Section 21. As a gender minister, he or she should coordinate all activities that are related to gender and health. My second duty as the upcoming gender and health minister, he or she should partner with the education minister and conduct seminars, symposiums, and workshops. Without wasting most of your time, I will just stop here.
Well, going back to you, is it Famada, right? Fatu Sar, exactly. Now, what are your roles and responsibilities as a candidate and for the positions that you are vying for?
My roles and responsibilities of a gender minister is to represent students because students' voice need to be heard. Students are dealing with a lot and sometimes they have the chance to express themselves. So we are here to represent them, to listen to their problems and give the possible solutions as candidates.
Well, that's fine. Going back to you again, Famada. Why do you think that you are the right candidate for this portfolio?
Thank you so much for that wonderful question. I am the perfect candidate for this portfolio because I am well equipped on gender and gender related issues, and when it comes to health, I have a vast knowledge of it. And anytime we talk about gender, we have this notion that we are only talking about feminism or women stuff. And I have this notion in me that gender is inclusive and everybody else is included. So we should always respect that and we should always have that on point.
And to my left hand side now, why do you think that you are the right candidate for this portfolio?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, for asking me this wonderful question once again. As I said, health is something that is very sensitive, and people that deal with health need to be sound minded, need to be mentally, physically, and emotionally ready. And I am the right candidate for this position because I am physically, mentally, and emotionally ready. I have been doing jobs like gender and health for years. In 2023, I serve as the IPRO for Safe Hand to Girls, which give me the right to fight for this position because I know I can handle the position. And when we talk about health, we don't just allow strangers to venture in our department because this is something that is very sensitive. And this is something that you know that without learning it, you will not understand it. You will not just get up just because you are an English major, you feel like you can speak English. That is the reason why you have all the right to fight for the position. This position is not about speaking. The position is about how you comport yourself and how you are approachable. In health, we believe that people care for individuals. People cater for individuals. And I believe that I am the right candidate because I always catered for individuals. I always cared for people. Going further, for the first few months, I created a group that is menstrual tips. I have been teaching young ladies about menstrual issue. I have been teaching gentlemen about family plan methods. And the other thing is that currently I am serving as a committee member in the Gender and Health Ministry. That is the second minister. That is ASTU rather, ASTU. So we come together and we discuss that we will come with an association we call Kernajat. That Kernajat association is for salvation. We welcome both female and boys together to fight for their rights, not only just to advocate, but to tell them the important areas in health. Thank you.
Yeah, still going back to you now, given your policies, we'll give you 10 minutes for that. Yeah. Can you take us through, like, and tell us some of your policies and your programs?
Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. As I have the slogan, I said pari. When I talk about pari, means mem pari in Fula. In Wolof we call it parenen. And in Mandinka we call it mparetale. So this paretale, it has it letter there has its meaning. And it later stand for one policy. So we said P, it stands for promotion of health. Promotion of health, in my commitment as the gender minister, I will provide essential materials. When we talk about essential materials, we mean detergent, and locally others call it mada. That is the liquid detergent. And in my capabilities, I will provide tissue paper, I will provide menstrual pads. I will not only stop in providing those materials, but I will go forward to implement those and lecture people how to use the materials. This policy is outlined with commitment because without commitment, you cannot implement a policy. So going further, we have A. A is for advocacy. I advocate for gender-based violence. I advocate for anti-discrimination. I advocate for gender equity. Let's go back to R. R is to raise awareness. Looking at the young people in this institution, they believe that Minister for Gender and Health only deal with advocacy. But I, Yasin Balde, sitting here, will tell you that that is not only the function. But as a gender minister, you have all the right to sensitize people about health. There are so many things happening in our environment, and we as young people, we should take note of it. When it comes to health, like respiration problem, sometimes you see people facing respiration disease like asthma. They will be in class and they will fall down. But if you don't have that knowledge as the gender minister, you will not be able to fight for those solutions. And there was a time, even these days, I saw people pressing her chest. And these are things that you need to study so that you will understand the area. Because you cannot just come and you start pressing an individual chest. You don't know whether it is going to affect that individual or not. So going to breast cancer, this is something that is very important. Every October, we create awareness about breast cancer and the others. In my capabilities, I will also try and sensitize people about breast cancer issues. So now we are going to the last one, which is E. E means environmental sanitation. So my this policy, I have strategies and I am going to relate it to the STA office, that is the former STA office and the GCSU office. If you stand at that office, you cannot even breathe because of the smell. These are the things that the gender minister failed to implement. As a gender and health minister, these roles are very key. Only the smell can affect your lungs or can affect your breathing. So, in my capabilities as the gender minister, I will promote healthy environment by managing waste. When I mean managing waste, there should be no littering in the campus. I will try all means, talk to my committee members, and those committee members will talk to the students so that they will not litter around, but they will feed the dustbins. The other policy is, if you go to the Arabic sector, sometimes the toilet is there, but there is no water. So it's very important as the upcoming gender minister, you also talk about how to provide water for them. Because you cannot just go to a toilet without having water there. Sometimes you see them going up to that other tab that is near MRC lab just to go and fetch water, and at the end of the day, they will come back to the toilets. To me, that is not nice. And as a gender minister, I will look up to it with collaboration with my president. These policies I mentioned here, I will make sure they are all implemented with strategies. So fighting for anti-discrimination and gender-based violence, I have strategies that I will put in place that will help me to fight those issues. One of the strategy is reporting mechanism. I will open a forum where students will come and report their problem to me. The other one is creating a forum for awareness. I will select people where they will come to the students, talk to them about the side effects of scientific products, and talk to them about anti-discrimination and how it is affecting our environment. So on that note, I thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you. And now to Fatu, you have 10 minutes for that. Can you take us through your policies and program?
Thank you all so much. One of my policies is to promote inclusivity in our University of Education, because we are all aware that we are in a school where we have different people. We have pregnant women, we have mothers among us, and they need to be heard, they need to be listened to. If you come to our school, you sometimes go to classes and find mothers having their babies struggling in class, not even knowing how to concentrate because what? They are having their babies with them, and that needs a solution. That is why I put it as number one of my policy that if I become the Gender and Health Minister of the University of Education, the Gambia, I will make sure to implement a policy that says all mothers should be respected, should be listened to. And how am I going to do this? Is by talking to our head of department of the gender and consulting our administration so that our baby center will be well equipped, filled with people who can take care of those babies because they need the space. Sometimes you will go to classes, lecturers will even ask mothers to go out because their babies are disturbing. And that is not right. They are paying their tuition fees and they need to be listened to. So that is number one policy that I am promising every mother and every student that if I am voted into office, the first month of my time, I will make sure that that policy is accomplished. The other policy is to promote awareness on gender and gender related issues. We talk about equity, we talk about equality, we talk about advocacy, where we just know the words, but we don't know what they mean. And to me, that it does not make any sense. We should know what this is. And for me, saying that I will promote awareness is by inviting people, because who never know Fatsar knows that I am known for advocacy. I've worked with a lot of platforms like Safe Space for Girls. I've worked with Think Young Women, whereby we go to communities, we talk to people, we know their problems, and we bring their possible solutions. And right now, I am the founder of Sea Rises Community Space, whereby young people around my community, not all of them are lucky enough to go to school, not all of them are lucky enough to be educated. But what do? I bring them together. I make sure I lecture them on things they need to know: how to take care of themselves when it comes to sanity, how to take care of themselves when it comes to our environment and the violations we face, and how to comfort themselves when it comes to the problem and challenges we face as young people. So I said I want to just stop at my community, because teaching a teacher is like teaching a whole nation, because one teacher is teaching more than 40 students in a class. So if that teacher should implement this awareness, advocacy, equity, and equality, it's like our nation would suddenly change. So I believe that is a very important policy that needs to be accomplished. And my strategy of doing this is I've had MOU with some of these organizations I just named, and I believe that if I am voted into office, we will create platforms to make sure that we are well taken, we understand the things we stand for, the things we represent in our communities, in our places. Because anytime I'm talking, I'm not just basing on UEG, because people from UEG, they are from communities, and we need to consider that. So if you are well trained and you are well aware on gender and gender related issues plus health, it means that you are well equipped. And when it comes to health, the Gambia currently, we are dealing with sexual transmitted infections and diseases that are almost rendering our society. Do we know why? It's because we embrace the culture of silence, always saying that we won't talk about it. Because if we talk about it, they will victimize us or they will run away from us. We need to know these things. We should be equipped on how to prevent ourselves from STIs like HIV and AIDS and the other likes, because these are things that are disturbing our society, our communities, and even our school. Another policy is I want to promote sanitation in our environment, because we go to toilets every day before leaving the school. Some will visit the toilets, and these toilets are the places we take these infections from. And sometimes we will contract an infection not knowing that it is multiplying in our bodies. The time we will realize it, it is too late. So to avoid that, what we will do is we should implement this sanitation in our school. If you go to the MRC, we have taps that are inside the corridor. We have taps that are at the wall. And sometimes people will come there to perform ablution, which is wrong. Because if you made that place wet and you just perform ablution and leave, if someone else will come and step on it, it will make the place dirty. And mosquitoes will come here, they'll come there, bacteria will go there, and at the end of the day, it might create a sickness that we don't even understand. We have sanitary pads all around the school. If you go to our offices at STAR, you have sanitary pads. But do we know how to use these sanitary pads? Some of our ladies would be using one sanitary pads for more than 4 hours. Some might be attending lectures from 8 to 6. I might be corrected if I am wrong. They will be using the same sanitary pads. Do we know the implications it's doing to our health and bodies? We don't know. We need to be trained. We need to listen, and we need to understand these things. So I think these are one of the most vital policies that we should ensure that it is accomplished at the end of the day. I am a summarizer because as you just lamented, I am an English student, so I will not even exhaust the 10 minutes because I've given all the important details that needs to be taken out. Thank you.
Going back to you again, you have mentioned your policies. How do you plan to implement those policies? How are you planning to achieve those when you are elected in office?
Thank you so much. I believe that we are in an institution where we have only mature people because you are only graduated from high school. That makes you to qualify to become a college or UEG student. So it's not like I will go to classes, call people, hey you, hey and there, what you do is wrong or right. We don't do that. Anytime I talk about advocacy and creative platforms, this is where things come in. I will make sure that we will have sessions like a month. The gender and health minister will organize a session that will be established on sanitation. The first week, we might go with cleansing exercise, whereby you will be entertained and at the same time will be educated. Because sometimes we say, learning always without play makes Jack a dull boy. And we don't want that. We are happy youths and we are a happy institution. So I will make sure that anytime we have this cleaning exercise, food will be prepared. We will have people from those sectors. For instance, we are in West Coast. We can invite people who are dealing with sanitations. They would come. They will advocate and they will sensitize us on how to do these things. And they will sensitize us on how to make sure that our school environment is clean. And also, we will involve the administration so that strict rules and regulations would be attached to each. If you ever violate any rule by either, I want to explain a little story. Back then in my school, my alma mater, we have this caretaker which is called Pa. I will never forget him. For one thing, see, he always tell us he's a man, but he always tell us you as girls, you as ladies, you should always take care of yourselves because these sanitary pads you are throwing anywhere, you don't know where they will go to, and they can bring implications to your life. Another thing he will do is he will sit around the toilets. If you come inside the toilet, if you want to leave, he will call you, wait, and we'll go and check the toilet you just left. If you don't leave it the way you found it, you will go back, clean it up, and then go back to your class. So it went to an extent that we all adhere to these rules. You even see here guys saying, Uncle Pamon, dafa muna ruslo nit tarap. It's not like dafa muna ruslo nit, but because these are the kind of things we need to implement. Another thing is when it comes to the babies and the baby center, I'll make sure that to contact the administration, especially Madam Dow, to make sure that these models are heard, are listened to, because it brought to my notice that some of these mothers don't leave their babies at the baby center because the babies are not well taken care of, or the people we live in that places they are not competent enough to take care of that. So we will make sure that rules are attached to this. If anybody there who is working as a nanny don't agree to these rules, it's simple. We just fire you and hire someone else because your welfare as a mother and as the baby is my concern. So I think these are a way of implementing things. Thank you so much.
Right. Yeah, going back to you again, you have laid down your policies and then programs. So can you tell us what are some of the things you will do in order to achieve those policies or to implement those policies that you have just laid down?
Thank you. These are policies that I just mentioned, and some of them I am already implementing them in the environment. So, going back to health promotion as letter P, I will try all means by I create a forum to discuss about health issue, not only to discuss about health issue, but to bring out solutions to it. Just taking example of my platform, that is the menstrual tips. I have been sensitizing about health and I have been talking about menstruation. Sometimes I will come to the platform and tell them that these are the topics we are to discuss today. And I will give them the topic. Sometimes I will tell them to make research about it. Others will give me feedback. Then I will come and have lecture with them, that is online. I will teach them about menstrual issues. I will talk to them about the menstrual products. So, and I will also send a pulling pulling stick where people give me feedback. So in that way, I will create a platform. That platform, I will sensitize about health. And I will also try all means to conduct symposiums by gathering Gambia College students. That is UEG now. Even if I am not going to gather all of them, but I will check few people who are interested, because I will give the opportunity to each and every student. So if you show up, I will ask questions. Before I conduct those symposiums, I will ask questions, the health issue that are affecting students in the campus. With collaboration with the education minister, there is a suggestion box. We have it at the Bajon Kodo. So I will ask students to send their suggestion there about health. If they put their ideas there, then I will pick that ideas, read them, and understand what really is affecting the students in our institution here. So in that way, I will be able to know the problems. By knowing the problems, I will be able to solve them by conducting symposiums and training or workshop. So let's go to A, that is advocacy. If we talk about gender equality and gender equity, in real life we have the concept that gender equality exists. But even a spring glance, if you put their rice, it will not give you the same amount of grades you have in this bowl and you have in the other bowls. They are never equal. That's why me as the gender minister, I always go for gender equity. In order to promote this gender equity in our society, I will provide what the females need, and I will also provide what the men need. I think that will be the easiest way, because you cannot give a man a part when the man don't need that part. So in advocating for gender equity, this is how I am going to strategize it. I give you based on what you need or what you want. So talking about gender-based violence, most of the people in the society believe that it's only females that face gender-based violence or sexual harassment in our society. But in today's generation, even men are facing the same thing. So I, as a young lady, I will not feel shy or feel ashamed to approach that gentleman and talk to him whenever he has problem. As I said, I'll put strategies like reporting mechanisms where people will come with their problems and I will find a solution for it. So going about the other one, that is raising awareness. Raising awareness, that will be a collaboration with my team members. With my team members, I will give them position. Each person will handle a position. When it comes to health awareness, gender awareness, discrimination awareness, equity awareness. So anytime you need or you have a problem related to these problems, related to these things, you just go to the one that I appoint for that area. You go to the committee members, talk to them, and they will give you solutions. If they cannot give you solutions, they will come to me as the gender and health minister, and I will find solution for each problem that they give me. So let's talk about the environment. The environment sanitation, in that case, I'm not the only one that is going to handle it. But we have the accommodation minister and we have the agriculture and environment minister. I will collaborate with them to promote hygiene in our environment. Promoting hygiene like providing essential materials that are needed. And most of you might be wondering how I might provide those essential materials. If I budget, if I have my budget, I will either take it to the finance minister, or I go for donation, or I have partnership with businesswomen like Sena Bombay and the others. So in that case, I will be able to provide those essential materials in our UEG, and I will also teach them how to use those essential materials. As science students, we believe that all materials have scientific effects. So the part we are using, it have advantage and disadvantages. So in my capacity as the gender minister, I will sensitize people the scientific effects of the part. I will tell them the scientific effects of the liquid detergent and how to use it. These policies are not just words, or they are not just prediction. This is something that you know that I have been scrutinizing it. I have been looking up to the campus, seeing our environment that every day it is not encouraging. And I come up with these policies. They are not even policies, they are problems. That's why I said problems, I have the solution. So thank you.
Well, that was a very interesting discussion from both candidates. Now, this leads us to the rebuttal session. You both have 5 minutes for that. Yeah, and then you have to ask two questions. Yeah, so we start from the from a left hand side.
Okay, I have a question to ask. In your capacity as the Gender and Health Minister, how are you going to initiate? How are you going to create initiative in order to foster development in gender and health ministry?
Thank you so much to my opponent, a very beautiful lady, for that wonderful question. Uh, Whoever knows Fatsar knows me with innovations and creativity. And I think if you listen to my discussions very well, you will know that all my policies are back with implements and strategies on how to amplify them. So, to my policies that I just mentioned, because we are within that category, I will just repeat what I said before, is creating platforms. Because people need to know these things to their fingertips. And by partnering with people like Safe Space for Girls, Fatima's Path Drive, who is a sister and a gender activist, Safe Space for Girls and Think Young Women, I believe that we will host programs on how to make sure that awareness and all these problems are being solved with professionals who understand the situation and who are in that sector. Thank you for that wonderful question.
After the second question, you actually have 5 minutes for that. So,
Okay, my second question is, as you claim you fight for Sea Race Gambia, Sea Rises Gambia.
No way. Ask me and I will tell you. Ask me.
Sea Rises
allow her.
Gambia. Can you please allow me to ask my question?
Allow her to ask the question.
With all the association you mentioned here, they all favored the females. And in your capacity as the gender minister, you mentioned here equality. How are you going to promote that equality among students? Because your doings are different from your policies.
Okay. Actually, if you are well oriented in English, if they ask you to ask two questions, your questions should be two. And you asked one and I've answered it. So now you're asking two questions again. So
I asked only one question.
wait, let me talk. I've listened to you. You mentioned Sea Rice Gambia. I didn't mention Sierra Gambia. Did I? No. And coming to gender equality, I won't answer that Sierra Gambia because that was not mentioned by me. So when it comes to gender equality, when we say equality, equality is referring to when we are in the terms of decision making. When we say equity, the girls need a part, you give them part. And men need people who listen to them because they cry, they have feelings, and anytime they want to talk about it, we tell them that they are weak. So we need to create a safe space for them. But in this sense, when we say equality, is when it comes to decision making or when it comes to educational curricula, all ladies and gentlemen are entitled to the same right. Meaning, and no student is above the law. If you have to destroy the law as a male student or as a female student, you receive the same punishment. So this is what we advocate for. And please, I will advise you before using terms, make sure you know what they mean. And when someone is talking, listen. This is just a little bit of advice from a sister to a sister. Listen carefully so that your questions can be authentic. Thank you so much.
Yeah, back to you, Fatu.
Okay.
You also have 5 minutes for the
For my
rebuttal session.
questions,
Exactly.
my questions would be straight and direct forward. In our school, we have a department called gender. So I want to know who is the head of department of the gender in our school.
We are debating based on policies, not outside the box. And that is what we call policy debate. Do not bring environmental issues here. Who is the head of School of Education? Who is the head of Public Health? We are not interested in that. What brought us here is policy debate. So,
We are talking about UEG.
Sorry,
can you ask your other question, please?
just ask the question based on the policy.
Okay, based on the policies.
Policies, exactly.
Good. So our policies are designed within our school environment. So that makes it qualify a question that should be asked. Who is the head of department of the gender and health in the administration level? You don't know, but I will tell you. Mr. Kante, my sister, you should know this. Because if you represent us out of the school, you need to know these things and they might ask you this. So my
ask your
Just go straight.
Ask your
Ask your
question.
question. You actually have 5 minutes for that.
okay?
We are not here for those that hate us. We are here for policies.
Okay, thank you so much for lecturing me. So my
I
question
am
is
glad that you understand that I lectured you.
Very
and
good.
I am your lecturer.
Very good. I like that. I like women who are confident. That is very nice because that is what I advocate for. So another question I have for you after you have failed to answer my one and first important question is how many hours should the sanitary pad be with us as girls when we are on our menstruations? These are basic questions. Yeah.
To me, it is very funny because I have been lecturing this course for 3 months.
Really?
4 years.
Madam Lecturer?
Of course, yes. Normally, according to the scientific rules, that the part should stay in a girl for 3 hours, but others go up to 4 to 5 hours. But maximum, it should be 3 hours. And should I tell you how to use the pad?
You can tell me.
I'm serious.
You can tell me. I'll be glad to know.
Do you want to learn?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to demonstrate something.
Okay.
As the upcoming gender and health minister, sorry to say this, but you all need to hear it. As a lady, if you are on your menstruation, sometimes people buy tampon, others buy menstrual cup, others use the pant liner. But here we are focusing on pad. So,
Liners
of,
for menstruation.
of course, yes.
Good.
Allow her to ask the question.
So, number one step is you will bring the pad. If you bring the pad, you bring the pant. there is a plastic stick on it. Remove that plastic. Then take the plastic, you place it. Then take the part, you put it on the pan. Putting it on the pan, you have to stick it so that it will stick with the texture of the pan. So that anywhere you go, you might not feel irritated or you might not feel comfortable. You might not feel comfortable.
Uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable rather. Thank you for that. You might not feel uncomfortable. This is how you use the pad. It can stay in you for 3 hours. After the 3 hours, then remove the pad, wrap it properly. Then take a plastic bag, you put it inside. But others prefer washing it. You can also wash it. After washing it, then you take liquid detergents and you wash your hands. But if you don't want to wash it, you can take the part, wrap it properly, put it in a plastic bag, then take it to the dustbin. Do not put it in this toilets that we have in the public health here. You should not put it there because the moment you flush it, it might not enter. Flush. The moment you flush it, it might not enter. And please, we are not here for English class. Here is for gender and health. I don't blame you. You are an English student who understand words, but you fail to understand the context.
Great, I like that.
So to move forward, you put it in the. You cannot put it. You cannot put it in the toilet. You throw it in the dustbin, where animals or children might not have access to it. Sometimes, if you don't want to put it in the dustbin, you can dig a hole and you put it inside. Then you bury it. It is not advisable to burn the part because the moment you burn the part, there might be leftover.
We are receiving menstrual lectures in policy debate. This is interesting.
You are the one that said, let me lecture you. So baby girl, calm down. You should take 10 minutes.
That leads
really
also
like
the end of the session because time have already collapsed. So, viewers, that's the end of this session.
I like that. Thank you so much.
Good day, viewers. I am Jamandi Conte, an aspiring candidate for Mighty Team Reps for the portfolio of Finance Minister of the incoming election, UEG-STA election coming. Thank you, Mr. Morero.
Okay, now to my left hand side. Can you please introduce yourself?
Thank you so much, Mr. Honorable. My name is Mamadou Mane, a student of this University of Education, the Gambia, pursuing advanced diploma secondary, majoring English language and social and environmental studies. It is my honor to be here to tell you some of my reasons why I'm here. Thank you so much.
Okay, back to you again, Mr. Mane. What are your roles and responsibilities as a finance minister?
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. I would like to highlight some of the functions or roles that a finance minister should perform in an institutional or in an association. Number one function of a finance minister, according to the constitution of STA, is that he or she should be responsible and accountable for all financial transactions in the institution. That is number one function. And then number two function, he or she should be responsible for the collection of the student due. That is for the star students due. And then number three function of the finance minister is that he or she shall be also responsible to present and prevent the annual budget into the students' body in the during Congress in the institution. And he or she, the other function is he or she should also try to to create innovative or ways or strategies in which that can serve as a way of generating income for the association or for the institution. Mr. Moderator, I think these are some of the functions of a finance minister, and these are things that I learned from the constitution of the STA.
Yeah, well, back to you again. What's the name? Huh? Jamenti. Back to you, Jamenti. What are some of your roles and responsibilities as finance minister?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. As is stated in the Constitution of the UEG-STA, Chapter 3, Section 15, which stated the finance minister shall be the one of the signatory to the accounts of the association. And the same section says that a finance minister should also present an audit report to the student body during auditing or after auditing. And the same section also stated that the finance minister shall be responsible of collecting dues that the students are paid annually in the institution. Thank you.
Yeah, back to you again, Jamenti. Like, why do you think like you are the right person to serve in this portfolio?
Thank you for asking that question. Uh, with my capacity as the finance minister of the union of the student association of science club as their finance minister, the experience I gathered from science club, and also I serve as the finance minister of the Dankungu ex students association, and currently the youth parliamentarian of Nyamina Dankungu. So with all that experience I gathered, that gives me the competency and the commitment that I will render the service to the students. So if I am voted in office, that gives me the right person to be the position of this candidacy of finance minister.
Okay. Back to you, Mr. Mane. Yeah. Why do you think like you are the right candidate for this position?
Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. This question, I like it because it's something that sends a sense. We have to understand in this position doesn't determine the size of an individual. This is about the maturity of an individual. As a person, I have been serving in Kabafita Upper and Senior Secondary School as the manager of the science club. At the same time, also the auditor general there. I was serving both these roles at the same time. From there, in Maha Senior Secondary School, I serve as the manager of the students' young writers. And currently, I am also the manager in Kubariko, Makumbaya, the manager of the Red Cross link, they call it Mabuga. And I have faced so many challenges there, and I was able to control those challenges. And secondly, also, I have also the experience that I learned from those institutions, how to distribute money, how to control money, and how to manage that money with a responsibility without misusing that money. And that's why I think that I am capable, confident to be in this aspect, not only a mayor word, but something that makes sense when it comes to the institutional finance minister. Thank you.
And now to your policies.
Yes.
I will start with Mr. Mane here. You have 10 minutes for that.
All right.
Can you take us through some of your policies and programs that you would like to implement when you are elected in office?
Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. It is an honor to give me the floor to flow. That is to say, the policy number one that I have for the institution and for the student body is that I will answer there is financial transparent management. Transparency in financial management. I will make sure that whatsoever in terms of transaction of money that is going on in the institution, it is transparent with loyal and also honesty, integrity that will defend also the interests of the students' body and the union in general. That is number one policy. Number two policy that I would like to implement in this novel institution is that with my capacity and my experience that I have, I will make sure that there is proper planning and also budgeting. That is budgeting and proper planning. That's another thing. How? You cannot just come to student or the institution, tell them that this is what I do, this is what I want to do as a finance minister. You need to take your time. You need to know the students' needs. You need to know why those needs are important to the students. After you know that, you look at your budget. You look at your little money that you have there. After knowing the little money that you have there, you sketch your things, you plan them, you arrange them, and you go back to your people because they are the one that put you to the office. You ask them, this is what I have. How do you see this? Let them also bring their opinions, because we said what? In government, we learn something. Opinion of the people. People's opinions are needed in terms of ruling. So you ask them, the students also, they are not blind, they are not deaf, and they are there to make sure that they also contribute. And they will never contribute to their downfall. And that's number two policy I have. The third policy I have is for this institution is to make sure that student resources are well managed with responsibilities. And that's why in my slogan I made mention that the student fund is not for fun and nobody should joke with it. This is something which is very sensitive. Money bring misunderstanding, money bring problems, and money bring separations in the society. And these policies, as my capacity and my experience that I have in the past, I will make sure that when I'm put into office, I'm going to implement them. Because these are not just mere promises. These are promises that I think they can be implemented or implementable within a short period of time. Not policies that are there, that cannot be implemented within a short period of time. So, Mr. Moderator, I would like to stop here and thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for that. And then now to you, Mr. Javenti. Can you take us through some of your policies and programs?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. First, I will talk about one of my policy, or I have 7 policies, which means the word even itself, finance. First, from the first letter F, which means financial transparency. In that financial transparency, they will make sure that there is a transparency that each individual is paying to this institution. There is a transparency, and there will be a weekly or a semester of auditing by working with the Auditor General. Second is the I, which stands for inclusivity. I will make sure that there is every club in this association is paying an amount of money to the association. So I work in hand with that clubs and to see how best they can benefit from the $500 that they are paying as a club to the institution. And the other policy I will talk about is the student control emergency funds. Each student is paying an amount of $50 per year. I will make sure each student also benefit from that $50 they are paying. How will I make sure that? Because some students will come to for lectures, they will not have even a single pen to write. So that $50 they are paying, I will make sure that $50 also is given back to them by providing some learning materials to the students. Not all, but the needy ones that need pens during that time. So, Mr. Moderator, I would like to give you these 3 policies for now, and until then, I thank you.
All right, thank you for that. And then back to you again, Mr. Moderator. Like Mr. Jamenti. Yeah, you have laid down your policies and programs. Like when you are elected in office, what you would like to implement. So, can you tell us how are you going to implement these policies and programs?
Thank you very much. As I mentioned earlier, the first policy, that is transparency. The receipt books used by the finance minister I will make sure I work with the auditor general. There will be weekly auditing of that money, because if there is no transparency in auditing, that implementation of that policy has no use. So I will work in hand with the auditor general so that there will be a transparency, and it will be published to the student in the annual how do you call it, during the handing over or the other section of the transaction. So the other implementation of the inclusivity is talking about the clubs. I will call all the clubs their heads to see how best this money is going to be given back to them, because they are paying $500 to the association, that is the STA, and they also need to benefit from that $500 they are paying, so that their club also can have benefit from that. And the third one is, I know the needs of the students. Some students will come to school without any pen, and the lecturer will try to send some of them outside. So if I'm vote into office, I'll make sure that each individual that is sent outside and happen to come to the office, I'll make sure I give the person that pen the lecturer asks you to go and look, so that you can benefit from the $50 you have paid as your due. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. And then back to you, Mr. Mane. It is believed that every candidate have his or her policies. And then can you tell us now, your policies that you have mentioned here, how are you going to implement them?
Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. It's something which is very indeed a blessing. That is to say, the first point that I make mention is that I made mention about financial transparent management. That case, when we talk about transparency, people think like it's just a mere word. Transparency deals with accountability. It deals with integrity. You as a person, anything you are doing in any association, in any institution, there should be a tangible record. There should be a tangible receipt or tangible references that people can see, touch, and believe in it. I will make sure that there are documents available. That is the documents, the books where I am going to sign, and other ministers, that is the auditor, and before reporting it to the vice president, I will make sure that these books are available, or those documents are available for people that may also need them in the future to see how we were operating in the institution. That is one. Two, I talk about budgeting and planning. In economics, we learn about wants and needs. The Gambians misabuse these two words. We hear people telling you that I need credit. It seems like when they don't get credit, they die. Credit is not needed, but it is wanted. So when you know your wants and your needs, you'll be able to differentiate in terms of budgeting. Needs come to the aspect of when you don't get it, it might affect your well-being, your life, and you yourself as a person. That's what we mean by needs. I know human want is unlimited. That is a desire. If you take your sister to the market today, you buy her 3 suitcases, and you ask the same sister tomorrow, can you escort me to the market? The same sister will tell you that I need this hat. It's because it's want. I'll try to see first in terms of budgeting to differentiate what is need and want. If I know the needs of the people and my budget they see in tally, then I can go on and budget first with my ministry, because I cannot work alone. I will make sure that my ministry is involved, my ministers rather, they are involved, and other respected individuals. And then when we see it, we put it on the table, we discuss. That's the time we introduce the topic like a bill to the students' body, for them also to know that they are reflected in this institution. For them also to know they are not isolated or they are not marginalized in the system. And I think with that method, there will be no commotions, there will be no misunderstanding or ramifications in the institution. And then the other one I would like to talk is about the third one. The third one, I talk about using students' resources responsibly. That is the proper management. Anything we are doing in an institution, every institution or every society is being governed by a constitution. We have to understand that we have to follow the principles of the rule of law and the constitution in operating in the financial institution. We have to check how this thing is working. Each student, for instance, is paying $50 for every year. We call it student due. At the end, it is going to be $150. They should benefit from it before leaving the campus. How? We have Islamic students. When we say student, then in this University of Education, the Gambia, many students misinterpret this because they think the students here is only under education that are offering English language. Now, we have Islamic students, we have French students, and we have English students. You should organize programs like a seminar, or organize a program like English Basic Training Program, where you teach the Arabic students and French students in terms of what? In terms of learning based language, and for them to be able to communicate in the society. In that, after the training, you satisfy them with certificate, and that certificate is going to benefit them with the knowledge also they have already in the institution. And that is the way in which the money can come back to them. So these are some of the aspects or the strategies that I'm going to employ when I am put into the office. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that. I believe that was a very wonderful comment from both candidates. And now this will lead us to the rebuttal session. And then you have only 5 minutes for that. Both candidates have only 5 minutes for that. Both Mr. Jamenti and then Mr. Mane, you have 5 minutes to ask questions and then answer questions. So I will start with Mr. Mane first. Then you can ask your question.
Okay. I would like to ask this question. As you said that you talk about needs, the needs of the students, Mr. Conte. In a situation where you are given two important things, both of them are important, and both of them are very, very vital. Listen to my question very careful. Both of them are very, very vital to the aspect of the student. How will you manage to take one and leave the other one, whereas the money that you have is not much, meaning the money is limited? How will you manage that? That's my first question.
If I may ask, can you paraphrase your question? Which kind of important things are you talking about?
When
you say two important things. you cannot know which important things are you talking about. Can you paraphrase your?
I say two needs that the students might need.
Example?
For example, you are asked, like some students will come with tuition fee problems, and some students will come with about lacking materials, as you mentioned, about school materials, right? Both of them are important also, but the money you have cannot sustain both of them. What will be the strategies that you will use in order to get those materials?
Thank you very much. You talk about tuition fee and student needs. Tuition fee is not the responsible of the finance minister to help their needs. The need of the student here is the learning material they needed, not the tuition fee issue. The tuition fee there, before they apply, they say they have accepted. So from that acceptance letter, it's your own discretion to go and look for scholarship for yourself. But the moment you are a student inside, now your need is the learning material you need, and you have the right to have that material from the Jew you are paying, as I mentioned. So from that, I will help the one who need the right material rather than the one who need the tuition fee.
Thank you. You may ask your second question.
And this is what I have.
Okay, thank you for that. And then to you, back to you, Mr. Jamenti. You can go ahead with your question.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I just have only one question to ask. In a scenario where the receipt book of the finance minister is missing, how are you going to be audited as the finance minister?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. And that's why I made mention documents. And I know if you understand the plural form of documents, it means many. There cannot be a specific book or one book that a finance minister may use. Now, if that book is missing, we have other strategies. Maybe we snap it on the phone, and we snap in other electronic devices. People can see it, and we can get printed it, and it can serve as a reference. Because what we believe is the signature and your name and the stamp of the institution, and that will be there. We can use that, to my own opinion.
In that case, I don't mean about, in case the printout you are talking about, you know, if you are being audited by the Auditor General, you need to tender that receipt books. So in case what I mean, that receipt book is missing now, who is going to be the one responsible to pay that money? Is it the finance minister who should pay, or the council should pay that money?
That money should be paid by the finance minister, because it is your responsible to control your materials.
So how are you going to pay that money?
As I said, when you pay here your tuition fee, the first statement they tell you in the office is that snap it, keep it safe.
No,
you understand?
Tuition fee. I mean,
this is a scenario. I'm not referring to like you are talking about tuition fee. I'm saying when you pay your tuition fee, for example, the first statement these people tell you in the office, snap it, keep it safe. Now, if it gets lost, whereas you have a snap or a picture of it, you can use that picture as a reference, or because people can see it and you can print it out. But if it gets lost and there is no other way, the blame will be on the finance minister. When you don't have the picture of it, you don't have the hard copy, you don't have the soft copy, then the blame will be on the finance minister. But as far as there is a soft copy of it, you can use the soft copy to print it out and people can see it, they can take and they can identify the symbols that are there. That is the signature and the stamp.
Okay, thank you. And my second question is, in your 100 days in office as the finance minister, what is the first policy you need to implement as the finance minister when you come into office?
Thank you so much, Mr. Conte. And I like you because you always ask maturity questions. And these are things that you need to understand. Mr. Conte, everybody works about transparency. Every financial minister will never sit here and tell you, when I be in office, I will steal. There is no financial minister who will tell you that. The first thing I will do, because I always said the students' fund is very paramount, something very important. I will make sure there is transparency and accountability towards the financial institution of this noble institution, because it is very key. Even if you know how to budget, know how to plan, if you are not transparent, you still fail. And this is what is retarded in so many institutions. And when you fail as a finance minister, it will hinder and hamper the educational aspect of the institution. So I think I am right because nobody can sit here and say I'm going to steal when I win as a finance minister. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That has led us to the end of this session. And once again, I thank you all for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.